This one, it was called Maybe You Will Remember. This one was by far one of the scariest stories in the book because it could happen in real life. So the story goes like there was a mother and daughter named June and Rosemary Gibbs. They were traveling around and ended up in Paris when the mom, Mrs. Gibbs, became very ill. They stopped at a hotel for the night and they ended up getting the hotel doctor to check out the mother because she was so sick. The hotel doctor said that it would speed things up if Rosemary took a taxi to his house and got his wife to dole out medicine for Rosemary's mom. The hotel manager got a cab for Rosemary and instructed the taxi driver to take her to the doctor's house and then take her right back to the hotel. As they started driving towards the doctor's house, it felt like an eternity before they ended up at the house, and Rosemary even realized that they were going up and down the same streets over and over again in circles. They finally got to the doctor's house and his wife doled out the medicine for what felt like another eternity. And then they got back in the cab and started towards the hotel again when Rosemary realized the cab driver was actually going in the wrong direction. She tried asking him, "Hey, aren't you going in the wrong direction? Where are you taking me?" But each time she asked him, he didn't respond. So at a stoplight, Rosemary threw open the door and she ran out of the cab, and it turns out that they were going the wrong way. She finally made it back to the hotel by herself several hours later. She went up to the desk clerk and said, "I'm Rosemary Gibbs, my mother is June Gibbs, we checked in this morning. Can you give me the room key to room 505? The desk clerk looked at her for a moment and said, "There's another family staying in room 505. I've never seen you before." Rosemary, obviously startled, said, "What do you mean you didn't see me before? You're the one who checked us into the room this morning." And she asked to speak to the hotel doctor. When the doctor came out, she said, "You examined my mother. Don't you remember me? Where's my mom? Can I go to room 505? And the hotel doctor took a look at Rosemary and said, "I've never seen you before. I don't know what you're talking about." Rosemary asked to speak to the hotel's manager, who came out, and she explained that he was the same guy who put her in the cab earlier that day. When he responded, "I've never seen you before." That's when Rosemary insisted on seeing room 505, where she last left her mother. And when they got to room 505, the walls that were once yellow were now white. The furniture that was once white was now black. And there was a double bed now instead of two twins. Rosemary said, "This doesn't make sense. I was here earlier today. It doesn't make sense how everything could have changed." And all three of the men just said, "Are you sure you're at the right hotel?" Rosemary decided to go to the embassy to see if they could help her, and when she got there and explained the situation, they said, "Are you sure you were at the right hotel?"